Today there's a word that goes around a lot, but it's often misused. It's called trauma. We've all heard the word. I don't know if a few years ago anybody even knew what it means. But sometimes it's misused actually in very inappropriate ways. Somebody says, I'm traumatized because the taxi did not come. I'm traumatized because I'm late to the bar mitzvah, I'm late to the wedding. I said, you're not traumatized, you're annoyed. Real trauma is something else. Trauma is murder. Trauma is spiritual murder. The pasuk says in Parshas Kiseitze that when somebody abducts a woman and violates her, the Torah says, "Kasher yakum ish al re'ehu uritzochai nefesh kein hadavar hazeh." The Torah makes this comparison, not me. The only place the Torah compares something to murder. This means murder happens on different levels. There's chalila physical murder, there's another type of murder. Murder is when I steal somebody's eye. When I steal your soul, I steal your identity. We know today that children, especially children who have been through certain experiences of physical, sexual abuse. I'm talking about real experiences of abuse. When I say real, we don't know exactly what real means because there can be so many different responses in a person's psyche. For example, if somebody has been really hurt by their father in terrible, terrible ways, but they had a mother that they can speak to, and they received a lot of love and a lot of comfort. So as Bessel van der Kolk says, real trauma is about the isolation of it. It didn't just happen, I'm alone. And it reaffirms my aloneness in the world. It reaffirms that I have nobody in the world. And if I have nobody in the world, I don't want to blame my father, so I blame myself. I must be such a despicable person. And that's why I feel so horrible about myself. And that's why I'm so self-conscious. And that's why I can't trust myself. And that's why I'm so queasy. And that's why I'm so weird. Nobody helped the child identify where the real source of their inadequacy is coming. It's not because you are bad. It's because somebody murdered you. There's also situations that the brain shuts down the memory. It's too painful to look at. So my brain says it never happened because the brain is trying to protect me. Our brains are amazing. So the entire memory is only on a subconscious level. Consciously, I don't know about it. So now I'm feeling creepy, I'm feeling weird, I'm feeling strange. I don't know the truth. That somebody did something to me that stole my eye. So what do I say? Ich bin der Meshugad. I'm a really weird person, and I start believing it. And then if I believe it, of course, everybody believes it because everybody sees the truth. So now what happens? I'm not just a grasshopper. Everybody knows that I'm a grasshopper. I can't ask anybody for a favor. Me? Dirty, creepy, filthy, weird, abnormal, meshugana self? I should ask you for a favor? I'm not allowed to even have an opinion. I have to become an eternal people's pleaser. I always have to make sure that I don't step out of the line. I always toe the line because I could never stand out, because if I stand out, what might happen? Somebody might say, hey, who's that? They may notice me. And if they notice the real me, oh my God, that's the tragedy of the century, because that I is the most disgusting thing that ever lived. All I can afford is to show up to life with an external me, with a bubble, with a facade. I had a teacher, he was somewhat of an absent-minded professor. And in those days, he would smoke a lot. And he once went into the Wax Museum in London. Winston Churchill was holding a cigar. And he was in his own world. So he goes over to Churchill and he asks him for a match to light the cigarette. So the wax museums, they're amazing. And sometimes what if a person becomes that person of wax? I have this whole image like a stuffed doll. I'm stuffed up, I look real. I know what to do because I learned from society what to do, but internally I'm not present. I disassociate it from myself. Can you understand the depth of the tragedy that this person is dealing with? I walk around the world and I'm constantly imagining, I feel it in my bones, what you think about me. Hashem says, this hurts. Because what this means is, I'm now projecting on the entire world. Everyone sees me as an imposter. Everyone sees me as a loser. Everybody knows that I'm a criminal. Everybody knows that I'm unworthy. I never heard it from anybody, but even if they give me a compliment, that's just superficial. I'm living in a completely alternate reality. The compliments are also distorted. The feedback is distorted. Why? Because the tools through which I perceive reality are not tools that are coming from my authentic, beautiful self. They're tools of trauma.
Watch the full class at theyeshiva.net.